Coach first.
Any win in league play is good. Any road win is great. And a road win against a team that's starting to find themselves and emerging into being the team that I think they probably know they can be is even better. I thought that the second half we got stops, and that's what made the difference in the game. We made some adjustments defensively, and that, the first half was just everybody score. And the second half was you got to defend and you got to find a way to score. And I thought we obviously did that a little better than they did, and we were able to get the win.
Questions for Kendrick?
Kendrick, what was it? I'm assuming you had a lot of family, friends here. What was it like to be back in Chicago for you?
It was great. I always love coming back to Chicago, get to play in front of my family and friends. I'm glad they came, and also glad we got the win. Well done.
Do you have a number on how many people came to see you?
Including friends, maybe about 60. They was all over the gym. They didn't sit in one group.
I know I gave him 22 tickets. That's almost a record on the road.
Coach, what are your impressions of UIC in year 3 under Steve McLean?
I'll answer that question. Let's get him out of here so he can shower and everything, and then I'll answer that question for you.
Kendrick, I know you struggled a bit early on in the second half, and then you picked it up. So Marcus Adi was guarding you a little bit in the second half, and then you started to get into a flow. What was the key to that for you?
I think probably just a little fatigue, maybe. I play a lot of minutes, but coach asked me, do I need a break? And my mentality, I want to win, so I want to stay out there. So that's probably what it was.
To be one of the best scorers in college basketball and to do it so consistently, you were off and on a bit at Illinois, and then to do this as the leader of this team, how have you been able to excel so much offensively this season?
One, just putting in a lot of work. I'm getting good results, so that shows that hard work pays off. And then the Oakland system, the offense. This is a good team that is always known for having good offensive players, and I fit into the system pretty well.
Around here, know you from your time at Simeon and your time at Illinois. I don't know if coming back here makes you a little introspective, but maybe you can talk a little about just what the last year or so has been like for you.
The last year has been great for me. I've been focused, and I've been working hard, focused. Been buying into this culture at Oakland. I haven't got a chance to come back home that much, but it's been good for me.
You've left Illinois in some troubling circumstances. Is there anything you want people to know about you, or anything you took from that situation?
I think a lot of people do know that I'm a good kid. That happened is not who I am. If you get to know me, you know that.
Just to follow up on what you said about Oakland's offense, what about Oakland's offense allows you to excel within it? You were saying that with the system and such.
Yeah, it's a dribble drive offense. Get players to get shooters open, things like that. I'm a great shooter and an athlete, so it's kind of hard to guard.
Questions for Kendrick? All right, Kendrick.
Yeah.
Any questions for Coach
All right.
now?
I'm getting old, so I don't remember your question. Okay, but I know it was a good one, but I don't remember.
Coach, what are your impressions of UIC and
Oh, yeah.
Coach McLean's third year here?
If you want to hear good, you've asked the right guy, because Steve's a friend of mine, and I think he's a hell of a coach. What people have to understand is this is hard. We all have scholarships. We all recruit good players, and the system wins. It's like Kendrick said, he fit right into that, and we were able to get him. So you got to give a guy time to get his system in. I know one thing, he's got long athletes. That wasn't easy to do. So that's the first step. Now the second step is building a winning culture. He knows how to do that. He's been at Indiana. He's been at when he was at Wyoming and won. He's a really good coach. His culture will take time. Then you got to win, and that ain't easy. All right? And then when you do get a couple close wins and you start, I think we won today because we're Oakland. Because we're the defending champions. We're used to winning. The culture is to win. That makes my job easy. Now, back in the day, it wasn't easy when we were building it. So you have to give him time to build his culture because he's proven that he can recruit players. And now those players have to learn how to win. They have to learn how to win in this league. And you see that coming. I mean, it's coming. It's close. They're not far away. And he's still playing a lot of young kids. You can't discount Dikembe Dixon's injury. You can't discount that. The ACL is a tough injury. It takes time to come back from it. Name a guy who had it and came back, and now eventually he's going to be 100% and be who he is. But confidence is so important in this game, and that's a kid with confidence. So it's going to take some time. It would not surprise me if they won every game the rest of the year. It would not surprise me if they went 50-50. It takes time to build a winning culture. I do think they are way ahead of the curve. If I were a UIC fan, I would be excited about our future. Now, some people might not be happy because this year hasn't gone the way it's supposed to, but Tyrus Ferguson was out. That kid's really good. At our level, people can be mad at us because I got 4 guys out. That's a lot of players to have out at our level. All right? Instead of when you substitute, instead of your 6th, 7th, 8th man, I'm playing 11, 12, 13. Okay, so injuries at this level are huge. They're huge at any level, but especially at ours, because we don't have McDonald All-Americans sitting on the bench like Duke does. We got, it's hard. When you have a good team, it's hard to recruit when they're young because kids know they're not going to play. So you have to give him time and give him a chance for that culture to set in. I really like what he's done. I like him as a person. I think he's a great guy, and I think he's a really, really good coach.
What did you see in Kendrick to bring him on board with your team, both on the court and personally?
Well, we did all the research on Kendrick. We know, if you knew the true story, you would, and we actually, a guy from the Detroit Free Press is writing an article on Kendrick that's going to come out in the next couple of weeks. And we opened up and we let Kendrick tell the story. Why, what happened, what he did do wrong, what he didn't do wrong that people think he did, what the lawyers, how all that stuff works out. I had an assistant coach at Oakland that had tried to recruit Kendrick to Iowa State. He knew Kendrick, he knew the Simeon people. We got involved, and I mean, obviously with what happened, my job's in jeopardy so we really did the research, and what I found out is Kendrick Nunn's as good a kid as I've ever coached. As good a kid as I've ever coached. He's a nice young man. He's an honest young man. He got himself in a tough situation and he didn't react properly. Many kids would have reacted the same way he did. He's grown and learned from it. And when we got him at Oakland, we talked about entitlement, and we really worked on that. He's not entitled. He grew up his whole life, Simeon, 4 state championship, played with Jabari. Everybody says you're going to be a pro. Everybody lets you cut corners. We're not going to let you cut one corner. He swept floors. He did things you can't believe that this superstar would do, and he did it with a smile, and he earned his right to play at Oakland. And then he spent the last year in the gym making thousands upon thousands of shots. There's a reason. I'm glad he said the system, because our system, we've had a lot of great scorers in it. But he's made himself fit the system. He's really worked so hard. And I'm telling you again, there's not a better kid I've coached than Kendrick Nunn. I've had a lot of great kids, and he's right there with them.
Are you saying he pleaded guilty to charges that were not what he did?
Yeah, it's all going to come out in the story next week.
You're saying yes?
I'm saying that in his story is that he was put in a situation that he did some things, but what he pleaded guilty to was he did that because that's what the lawyer told him to do, because it would be on probation. It would go away in a year. It's off his record in a year and a half, and that was the best route to take, because if you just stuck with this and this and it went to trial, you could lose and you could end up being in jail. And so as a 21-year-old kid confronted with that, he and his family chose to do what the lawyer told him to do. So he did it, and he did his year and a half probation. He did his community service. He did all the things that he was told to do, and he went about a new life. and he's doing really well.
You mentioned how they've got some athletes, and you held them to 11 for 25 on layups tonight. What do you think was the key to that?
Well, they have a great shot blocker, 10th in the nation, and I have the 11th in the nation shot blocker. So whenever Oakland and UIC play, there's always a lot of shot blocks and a lot of missed close baskets. And I think that when you can protect the rim like we can, and they're two long athletic teams, you're going to see those kind of plays. I thought it was fun to watch.
One last question.
Watching UIC down the stretch, you talked about how they're building that winning culture, but what do they need to improve upon down the stretch? It was a tied game with about 3 minutes to go.
That's the hardest part. Confidence is so important in the game. It's the hardest part to get over, and the only way you get there is by winning. And you keep getting in that situation, and you win a couple of those games. You know, we were in a situation with them here last year, and we won by 1 on Isaiah blocked the last shot of the game. They had a kid turn down a wide open shot and drive it into Isaiah. You know, my thinking is as they grow, that kid will shoot that shot and probably make it, and we would have lost. So it's just a matter of being there and figuring it out.